Okay, it says we're live. Why am I not getting any video there? What's going on here? Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 151. We're testing out the new beta stream and see how it goes. At the moment I haven't got a preview working on it, so I'm not sure if it's capturing. So I'll just cue some music and see if I can do some checks myself. So, yeah, looks like it's going. Although my control panel's messed up on it, can't see what it's doing. So just stop the music. It's kind of strange. Wonder if I can reload it. Well, there's a test run of the new setup here. I think it's about 30 seconds behind too. Let's see if I can reload it without ending the stream. What will happen? I can only try, I guess. Aha, finally we got it back. We've got two chat windows for some reason. Hello Van, let me just sort this new system out. John's not with me at the moment, so I've got no one doing pre-checks. So this is the new stream beta. Had to totally redo everything with the audio. I'm not too sure how well it's sounding. How's it sounding there, Ben? And you can see the chat's rearranged itself. So yeah, this is the test run of the new, totally new setup. Not using Minicam virtual camera or this microphone. It's using RMTP protocol, same as OBS. So let's see, looks like it's coming up right here now. did a check before, it looked like the audio was working alright though. So let me just type the welcome message here. So yeah, got a bit of cover today. Sounds awful. In what way? One thing we found out is Minicam doesn't use its noise suppression. Shouldn't be sounding awful though, unless it's got the click. Can't hear anything wrong. Is it clicking? Yeah, sounds like it's cracking. Now let me just restart Minicam. The hell's going on here? Static or clicking? Sounds alright to me. So static. I'm not sure how to get around that. Should be the same as what we tested the other night, John. Okay, I'm not sure how I can listen to it. Let's see. It's supposed to have feedback on itself. I'm not sure how to get around that. Should be the same as what we tested the other night, John. Okay, I'm not sure how I can listen to it. It sounds alright to me. A wee bit of house and noise. It's supposed to have feedback on itself. I'm not sure how to get around that. Yeah. Yeah, well, not much you can do, is it? It is what it is. Does it sound better now though, guys? Are you out there or not? No, no one's out there. Hello, from Colorado. Yeah, John's not with us at the moment. I'm not sure if he's going to join me or not. But yeah, it's good for you, new people, to join us. Have a say down the side chat. We normally have guests on. Like I said, we're trying out this new stream beta, and yeah, the sound is a wee bit staticky. Oh, what's going on here? It's still playing my intro there. I better stop that. So hopefully it's sounding better now. Yes, I'm not too sure. Okay, so I was watching Ancient Aliens last night. I thought I might just bring this up to start with. The so-called Guardian of the Badlands, which is meant to be a native Indian head, so they claim, that's been carved into the landscape. To me, though, it's just like pareidolia, where you see dark and bright lines of the landscape creating artifacts that you see. So obviously this eye here, as you can see, is like a little gully going down here. You can see it's not even in focus here. And that's meant to be the eyelid and all that. So what's interesting though is it also looks like a head up here, right? Looks like another face up the top here. That's meant to be feathers, right? Going around this way. Let's see down here. Again, the nose. So, if it was a carving, you'd think they would have like nostrils dug into here. It'd be an interesting one to look on, probably on Google Earth a wee bit better actually. And the lips, right? If you're going to carve that, it looks deformed, right? It's looks like it's got a triangle bit here. So yeah, if it's been modified pretty crudely, I think. So yeah, apparently it is meant to be where the ear is meant to be, which is actually some mining site. Can't remember what they said it was now. Some gas or oil field or something. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting how the human eye see things here though. You can see here Google Earth has actually stitched a couple of images together here too. I wonder if they've got any high-res detail of that actually. It might be worth looking at. Okay. So, I'm not sure what the location is for it. But I wasn't going to go into depth into this one. Maybe another time, maybe. I bet there's you can see little faces all around that landscape there. Let's see if we can find it in Google Earth quickly, I guess. And probably be bookmarked, won't it? Badlands. I can't find it. Up in Canada. So here we go. Few away shots. The road looks like it's wearing like looks like it's wearing a headset, doesn't it? Modern day iPad or something. iPod. Yes, it's interesting though. You see, it almost looks like it's got some sort of clothing there. It's amazing what we see in images though. So let's see. I wonder if we can see it in 3D. Doesn't look too good there though, does it? So why is it looking less great on that image there? So again, that just looks like hills with looks really bad when you look at it like that. It looks like maybe there's some plants there, trees or something scattered around. And the bushes there look like it's, is that bushes? Could it be bushes? Really low res. Looks like they need to do a rescan of the area. Looks like it could be like buttons, you know, on the top, right? So here's another one, looks like faces. See what I mean? Looks like an Egyptian head there with a long skull. So yeah, I think you can see lots of things. Almost looks like an alien eye there, long face, skull. That's what I'm saying. You can see things in landscape. Did I hear about the herd in South America? Did you hear, I suppose, in South America there's an endless cave. They discovered, I believe, an ancient mine went down there and they evolved into something different. Sounds like a long story, that one. One life, man. So yeah, I'll just keep looking over this landscape here. So here's another one that looks like it might be a face as well, I don't know. I suppose it depends what level you go down to. Yeah, there it is, yeah. See, it looks like it's got lips and a nose. It looks like it's got a funny head with a thing sticking out, you see what I mean? Is there carbons everywhere? Or are we just seeing things that we want to see? When you go right down to it though, doesn't look much. Looks like maybe trees there and a gully. But it kind of looks like an African face, that one, doesn't it? With the heads that they have. And that one there looks like a long-nosed type face. So yeah, is it coincidence? Indian, and you can see other faces. That one there, like Easter Island. Somehow I don't think all those would have been carved, right? It's Mother Nature playing trick on us. I can't see anything else that's sticking out to me as a face, because our human brains are designed to determine a friend or foe by the face. So we're programmed to actually see faces, because that's the first thing you do as a baby, is you look at your mother's face, right? I would have thought maybe there could be some animals carved into the mountainside, right? Like a bear or something like that. What they have up in Alaska there. Mooses. Right. Certainly the same type of terrain and the landscape everywhere. Pretty different landscape to anywhere else in the world, I think, by looking at these mountains. Let's see. I've lost my place now. Where's the line of heads? Go back there. Okay. So can we go down? Street view on it? Probably not. I can't see many roads around there where Google Earth would have got to apart from up here. No. I think it has to turn blue, doesn't it? So it's about to drop it on there. Anyway, looks like we can't do much here. I wonder if Google Earth would be able to do it. We could probably try, I guess. To see it from ground level, but unless they've scanned it in, probably won't be any different than the maps, will it? Probably wasting our time on that. So, where is everyone today? I don't know. How's it sounding? Does it sound alright? Yeah, not too hissy. Fortunately, I've got no noise cancellation on my microphone. Cool. Looks like it's corrupting. Hello. Why is it corrupting? Let me just restart this. Hello. Ooh. Starts off good, and then it gets corrupted. That's kind of annoying. Sounds like Open's Mind. What? No, it wasn't Open Minds. It was Martin Willis. He had problems with his clicking mics as well. Yeah, just restarting Minicam again. Sounds alright. Okay. If it starts making clicking sounds, just let me know. Okay. So is it back? Looks like it might be. Okay. That sounds better now. But I've got it on monitor, but I can't listen to myself without it making me stutter, because, you know, it's like feeding back to yourself. So yeah, let's see where to begin here. I've got magnets, so yeah. Okay, so I was looking at this video here from this channel called SegTV Hidden from the Public. Now this guy was doing a presentation on levitating stones, saying that Egyptians were using high technology to move stones. So I found out some more information from recent findings on documentaries, which people may not be aware of. Let's see. So I'll play the little clip from his video there first. Let's see. Come up to this here. Let's see. So I'll come back to that in a minute. So I'll just play this clip here of a superconductor hovering above magnets. Now you can see it's using quite a few magnets here on the track. So let's see if it's playing okay.
The magnetic field inside of it stays the same.
Right. It's astonishing. Can you put it on the track for us?
Yeah. I just levitated above the track quite high.
I think it might be a bit too loud, so let me know.
So it's actually floating above the surface.
Yeah, it's not floating, it's locked above the surface.
So you could tilt it at an angle and it would still fly around.
Like this, and it will just go around like this. Because I go and put it at different height, put them like this.
Lock it at the height.
Lock it, yeah, different height, different configuration.
Right.
And I can even lock it at opposite way. If you could just hold for a minute. High. I'm doing the same
So it can
thing.
hang
I'm
upside
locking
down.
it upside down, and then it is suspended.
Fantastic.
So magnetic fields do what?
So as you can see, there was a super cooled ceramic disc that were levitating over a magnetic track using permanent magnets. Now this guy goes on a bit about magnetism and how it works. I'll just skim over it here. Where's the bit I'm looking for? Okay, so he goes on about the Russian guy.
There's hollow tubes that do what? They resonate.
Talking about sound and the resonant frequencies of bugs' wings. See, do I have some?
So a man named Grabenikov.
Yeah, I think that might be from the same documentary actually. So I might just go to that one there. Talking about this Victor Srebrenikov. I suppose that's how you say his name. It's from the same documentary, it doesn't quite say, does it?
From Russia. Grabenikov was kind of a non-conventional scientist. He was an entomologist, did a lot of work with bugs, entomology. And his favorite thing was to go out into the steppes of Russia and into the various outer hinterlands and camp out in the summers and study his favorite subject. And on one of these expeditions, he started seeing some weird effects. This is all explained in great detail on the AchilleNet site if you type in Grabenikov and his flying box or gravity platform. But anyhow, the result of this was to show that he found a certain bug that didn't fly, it levitated. And this was, he put this bug into a little vial or something, and he saw this vial jumping up off the lab table, jumping up and down. And of course, this is patently impossible based on any type of normal physics. So he got into this, and he found out that the bug wings themselves were creating an anti-gravity phenomena under certain conditions. And of course, what we have here, if you analyze, I think I found the bug. It's actually a beetle. And if you analyze this bug structure, you see a hexagonal pyramid structure array throughout the entire bottom wing of this bug. Turns out that beetles have two wings. The top wing is called a wing cover, and what the beetle does is it lifts this wing cover up, and then it flips out its lower wings, or inner wings. Now, the bug cover protects the inner wings, but when it gets excited or something, it flips these other wings out, and it flaps these other wings, and the inner wings flap a little, and this beetle goes gyrating around. They can't fly very good, but they sure levitate great, I guess. And anyway, he took a whole bunch of these bug wings and he glued them to like a Venetia blind structure, and he put it into a little platform he built. So they were all, these bug wings were all covered in here. And he used I theorize he used the wing covers as well as the inner wing itself. There's also a kind of a handlebar on this thing with some controls. You can see the thing a little better here in detail. The controls, I think, had to be manipulated continuously and probably vibrated to create the same action that the bug was doing. There was also down at the base some kind of a lever, which I suspect controlled the amount of lift he was getting out of this thing. Anyway, Grebennikov claimed that he could fly this thing or levitate it, and it would go around at almost 1,000 miles an hour. Now you ask, how can that happen? Well, he said that there was an energy field that built up around this thing due to this gravity field building up in the platform, and by this thing building up, it built out a force field that basically surrounded him and protected him from the local environment. So even though he was flying at 1,000 miles an hour, you could go, you could be wearing your Sunday best suit and not get it flutter a bit at 1,000 miles an hour. I'm not sure I'd want to stand on something going 1,000 miles an hour that's 2 feet square.
Yeah, so turns out this guy actually wrote a book later admitting that he was faking it all. So it's amazing what you can find on the net where people are still pushing this stuff out from 2013. And what's the other one? I think he was a wee bit of a magician, this guy, illusionist, right? You find a lot of the fakers online trying to push an agenda. Often are good tricksters, illusionists, magicians, The alien Topsy guy was a illusionist and a magician as well. So, but here, if you go back to have a look at the start here, where he's doing his hand movement, and he's trying to levitate this piece of, I suppose it might be a stick insect there. So all he has to do is hold on to a really strong magnet, right? Where was it? Where he's wobbling his hands? About here somewhere, wasn't it?
And in great detail on that.
See how close he is to this. It's probably got a needle inside that piece of wood there. He's got it surrounded by a thing, but obviously magnetism works through books and also on wrists. Electromagnetic. See, it looks like a magician where he's posing here for this camera. And the way he's moving
this is all explained in great
right?
detail on the AcuLeaNet site if you type in Grebennikov and his flying box or gravity platform.
Kind of crazy, and if you look at his flying platform, really, come on. Apparently he said it had wings of beetles attached to it underneath or something like that. All it is a block of wood and obviously a lot of metal scrap bits here. So I haven't got, is it Crupton again? Young Crupton again. Oh dear. Crupton now. Sounds bad again. Maybe if I don't talk so loud. What's going on? Why is it going bad all the time? Very confusing. Okay, so I won't restart at this stage. I'll just range out crops. Okay, I have actually got some pictures of that here. They'll get onto the Egyptian levitating side of things eventually. Okay, so black and white picture of it. Looks like something from a old movie. Yeah. I just read about that sound. How's it sounding now? Bit better? Might be alright now. Oh no. Is it sounding better now? I'll just check it out here. Hello. Hello. Hello, hello. How can I see it? Might be too low in volume now, is it? Not good. As it's looking now. Now let me just restart that. Okay. Okay. No, it's corrupting again, isn't it? Sorry about this, guys. I forgot to. Is it my stream ended? Or is it still going? Could be streaming it. Is it going? Is it working now? The stream's not going too well, is it? It says live now. And the sound started corrupting. Or flicking sometimes. Okay. I'm not getting the. Oh, right. Here we go. The preview window on the admin panel. It's giving me an error. And it's corrupting my voice again. Sometimes. How's it sounding? Terrible? Yeah. That sounds bad here. How's it sounding on the stream? Yes, sort of messing up my presentation a bit. So it's going now. Good. We just stick with what we got here. Can't see why it's corrupting the sound. How's it sounding now? No? Yes? Oh, we'll stick with it. Okay, so yeah, back to it. Better recap what I said. So whereabouts was I left off? So yeah, this guy was a bit of a magician, illusionist, and as you can see here, he put the platform on a glass table. He admitted it later in a book that he faked it all. But the levitating bug wings, he may have discovered something there. And he couldn't get it to work, so he decided to maybe hoax stuff to make people believe that he's found the answer to levitation. I don't know, but if you have a look at the bugs things here, could it be another trick? I see it's on a wooden board here. Could it be like a magnet underneath here, and he's coated the bug wings with some sort of magnetic powder? It's very possible. So if you watch what he does, you can see how it hovers.
Nature is fabulous.
Now, is it fabulous or is it just a trick? So this presentation, this guy hasn't done any background checks on him, what he's presenting here. So when a guy's been caught in a lie, do you believe any of his experiments? So I found this section here on Reddit, I think it was, and see what the people were saying. Then I'll get onto the levitating stone business. Although once popular with readers who dreamed of human unpowered flight, Grebenov's flight and other paranormal planes were promptly rejected by skeptics and scientists outside the paranormal community, and his reports were devoid of conclusive proof or public demonstration. That's the key point there, public demonstration, right? And what does it say here? He claimed that his camera shutter was jammed during the flights due to a time warping force field generated by the secret geometric power of Jinten. So what's that one? Some Chinese thing. Yeah, Jinten. Yes. Let's see anything coming up here. Analysis of the Qingping particle size. Analysis of the Qingping particle size and maximum power. Microfiber fuel cells produced bioelectricity from a variety of organic. So is something real then? Biopower. Physical, chemical properties and antioxidant activity of Jinten. Optimization of Jinten extraction from shrimp cells. Microbial fuel cells. Bio battery. Google Books. I don't know if this is a real thing or made up at the moment. Since it was referenced, well, let's look at it. 2007. %, Chinton, and is seized to pass a 20 mesh. Higher protein content of Chinton 20 makes it more biodegradable. Guess we need to find a wiki on it, really. Definition.
Chitin. Chitin.
I said chi.
Chitin.
Chitin, I reckon. A fibrous substance consisting of saccharoids, which is major constituent in the exoskeleton of arthropods and the cell walls of fungi. Okay. Long chain polymer. I'm not too sure how that works into the power side of things. Item. Power. See what the wiki says. So it's a combination of hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. Close-up of the wing of a leaf hopper. The wing is composed of chitin. So what's interesting about this though is it's possible that it could get an electrostatic charge and create a repellent charge from what he was doing there on the table. Where is that going?
Today we're going to try to get one of these shells to hover over the other one. The original of this video is what inspired me to do this series.
See, it could be the curvature shape of this, right? It looks like it's not very stable though.
Nature is fabulous.
Well, that's the outside of the beetle shell, right? So they only lift up, and the wings underneath are the ones that beaten so many beats per minute. That lifts the beetle up. I can't see this would have any effect on the levitation of the beetle, especially with the clear wings that are underneath, right? So I think it's all a bit of a trick. But yeah, it could be some proof to it, unless we can get someone out there that can prove these guys are not faking it on YouTube, right? We need like a trustable source of science, not a YouTube channel. So yeah, I think that's probably what we need to talk about here in this particular video. And what he's doing here is he's mixing in a lot of different things into this presentation and trying to relate it to the Egyptians knew all about this science, right? High-tech Egyptian science. And people will pay money to go and see it, of course, won't they? So that goes on for 56 minutes there. But if we go back to that page I was looking at on this Russian guy, let's see, probably be more some comments here, is it? Okay. What they're saying here. Oh, the pyramids. How does a gravity well build up? Is he saying the wings are becoming denser? Now I think of it, how does gravity well keep a wing away from the ground? Because nobody could ever fake a grainy black and white photo. The manifold and the rotating piece of vortex. I still think it might be a trick. So if we go down here, this guy here says, actually Grebenov wrote a book about these and similar phenomena, including the levitating device, which he called gravitoplane in 1997, but shortly before his death he admitted in a letter that the invention was a hoax, or as he puts it, utopia. The photo of the living device was made by placing the platform on a glass stand. So, yeah, obviously you don't get that information out there when people put it in presentations, right? The hell's how's the sound going? It sounds like it's getting worse. Sound like dialect. That's no good. Is it better now? No. Hopefully it's streaming still, is it? Let's see. That's ribbons. Yes. Not sure if I can fix that crackling sound. So there you go. Read the article. You can go and have a look at the video yourself. Let me check this. How's it sounding? Don't hear it. You can go and have a look at the video yourself. Let me. Sounds bad. Check this. How's it sounding? Don't hear it. Yeah, I know. Okay. Don't know what to get around it. It's annoying. And that it's doing the crackle. Is it on now? On now. No. Hello? Hello? There's John there. He's beeping me. Well, you just need to jump in then. Are you there? John. Who's that? That's Robert. Alright, I thought it was John. Sounds bad. What's going on here? Camera unavailable. I tell you, it's so random. Let me just close that down. Looks like it's all going wrong. Maybe it's Discord. Isn't the problem? Why? Can I see the camera? What's going on here? Alright. We got camera going now. Hey there, Robert.
Hi, Paul.
Oh, you're way too loud.
Get a little further away. Is that better?
No, you're really loud. Hang on. Say hello.
Hello?
I think it's alright. Okay. But you can't see my screen though. So something's going screwy here. You can't see my camera, can you? You're watching YouTube.
No, I can. No, the only thing I have on is Discord at the moment.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on with the sound. Or the video camera should be working.
Yeah, video camera's working on my side.
Is it? But it's not showing any picture. Are you seeing it directly through Discord?
Yes.
Even though it's showing a picture of me here. And that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I wonder what's changed overnight then on these things. Yeah, we just have to put up with what's going on here. Yeah, we tested this so much before the live stream in the week, and it was perfect. No crackling sounds. You sound alright. Yeah, so I'm looking at this this case anyway. I suppose my sound's still corrupting, is it? Hang on. How's it sounding? Is it corrupting?
Not to me, it's not. No, it sounds fine to me, Paul.
Yeah, I just think it's going to come out in YouTube crackle noise. It's weird. It's really weird. Alright, let's carry on anyway. So yeah, John's not joining me for some reason, not too sure why. And normally he's the one to help me troubleshoot things to make sure the stream's going alright. Let's see. So yeah, I was looking at that Victor guy, which I've just closed down now. Let's see. These articles on here. Trying to figure out if it was all trick or not. I think it was probably all a trick, but I don't know because other people have repeated his experiments. And these people here on above top secret. So we're talking about this levitation platform that later he wrote in a book before he died, that it was all a scam. And you can see there, it doesn't really look much like a flying hoverboard, which is what I was trying to look at before, which is our current technology up there. So I was just trying to find one that hovers, and here's one here, right? Is that the one here? You could say it doesn't look too great, right? It's not really hovering much compared to what that guy was doing, like with so-called bug wings, right? Which were meant to be glued underneath that wooden platform. So yeah, you can see here, it's a long way to go. And let's see what else we can find. I think that one's a fake. And there's the thing here of all the fans, right? So you did stand in the middle there, I guess. Arcaboard uses high-powered fans. Different colours, obviously. And all the batteries in the middle, so you stand on these lithium-ion batteries, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what's that? 16 fans each side. That doesn't going to use a lot of power just to hover a wee bit off the ground here. And what's that one there? Can't quite see what that one. Test a new prototype of record-setting hoverboard. Looks like it's over water here, is it? So I guess as they get more powerful fans and batteries, that's going to work better.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, Paul.
I'm cutting in and out. I think that might only be in Discord. What I can do is change server closer to where you are. Let's see. Go to America, East Coast maybe. Are you back?
Yeah.
You can see my desktop now. Weird. I don't know, there seems to be little bugs in the software. So you can, do I sound alright now?
I think that's a bit smoother.
A bit smoother? Am I still corrupting though?
No.
Yeah, it probably sounds alright on Discord, but probably on YouTube it's probably not. But let's have a look at this hoverboard here then. Ones that obviously haven't been faked. Yeah, Rob doesn't have a crackle because he goes through Discord. Mine, I don't know why mine's got a crackle. Why has mine got a crackle? Anyway, I can clear it. Is hell, I don't know. Crackle. I'll just restart minicam again. Here. That's annoying. Okay, are we back without the crackle? No more crackle?
there's no crackle that you are in and out.
Yeah, I just restarted Minicam. It seems to fix the crackle. Strange bug. We didn't have it when we were testing. But we'll see. See if it comes back. I can't see anything. I've done anything different than the other night. Okay, so anyway, let's see what we can find out about this Canadian thing. I'm not sure what kind of player that is. Yeah, it'll be better for a while, and then it seems to come back again. We'll see how it goes. Let me know if it crackles. Oh, it's got some sound still. Okay.
It's the clutter and the dirty dishes and the list of things he's working on. This is what you do when you doodle?
Yeah, so... how's this thing working? Looks like it's using some big fans. Okay. Yep, Back to the Future. The proper hoverboard using anti-gravity.
Yeah, Paul, I can only hear you about 1/3 of the time.
You still can only hear me. Okay, let's try a different server then. Hang on. I'll just pause that video. I'm not sure how we can fix it then. Singapore maybe? Japan? Are we back?
Yeah.
Am I cracking? Am I losing volume to you?
No, but you're cutting out again. Why not try Europe?
Not sure why I'm cutting out on you. Have you got your settings right, Robert? If you go into your settings here, click on the cog. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Just make sure your volumes are up, and maybe that's probably just above the noise level. Does that sound any better now? How's that sounding? Are you there?
Yeah, there's no problem with the sound. It's just that you're cutting out.
Cutting out where though? At the end of the sentence?
Yeah, beginning, middle, and end at times.
That doesn't make
like
sense.
now.
Like now? It should be working fine though. I don't know what other service. Africa is going to be a good one to try. Okay, we're back on Africa. Is it any better now? Are you there?
Yeah.
Am I cutting out still? Because I think it's your sentence. Robert?
Yes, you're still cutting out.
I don't know why.
Nor do I. It's unusable like this because I'm only hearing half what you say.
Oh dear. Can't understand why you're only hearing half. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gone.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
How's it sounding now?
I'm gone.
And gone.
It sounds okay, but you keep going.
Keep going. Not too sure. Am I crackling?
No, nothing like that. There's no crackling.
crackling?
You just no. It's just getting out.
I'm not too sure why. Can we hear you now? I think we're back to
I can
normal.
hear you now, Paul.
Oh, you're much louder again. Okay, just that. I'm
Is
supposed
that better?
Yeah, we're right. It's just my controller here. For some reason, my mixer crashed. Discord's crashing the mixer. Am I sound all right now? Not clipping the sound?
No, you're not picking up now.
Yeah.
Oh, just as I said that.
Oh well, looks like this stream's a disaster one. Okay. Sorry, Susie. We've just got too many problems. It maybe craps in our sound, but not YouTube. I don't know. So, Robert, are you there or not? You dropped off.
Yes. No, I'm here.
What's happened here? Where you disappeared to? Right, that's the side chat picked up here. Let's see, I'll get you on the screen. Looks like we're going to have to do some more testing again. Why can I grab that?
Oh, this is a nuisance. It's unworkable.
No, we'll get there. Hey, what's happened to my duck thing? How do I get rid of that? Hey, where's the duck thing gone? Did I click on a button or something? How do you get rid of the duck thing? That's really weird. It doesn't really matter too much. Well, John's with us. It's all going wrong today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's all Rob's fault.
Yeah. My voice is.
Yeah, it was my fault.
I think my voice is corrupted on the live stream apparently.
Oh, what it is.
How do we get both of you on the screen then?
Yeah, it's not corrupting, Paul. It's just cutting out, you know.
I'm not too sure why it's cutting out for you, Robert. Is it cutting out for you, John?
It was static. Lots and lots of static.
Static where?
Everywhere. Every time you spoke. Static.
Static. But it wasn't.
It was like robotic static across your voice.
Oh, hell.
On the live stream. But on Discord.
On the live stream. Discord's fine. But on YouTube, no.
Discord is rubbish. YouTube is rubbish.
YouTube is rubbish. Discord's fine. Go figure.
Strange, isn't it? But yeah, we tested it the other night.
You too, John.
So, yeah, I'm not too sure why I lost my theme here. How'd you turn the theme back to black? Cuba's saying hi to John, but he's gone. John is crackling, and you can barely hear what? Barely hear him. That's kind of weird. That makes no sense. Can you hear Robert okay? Because he's pretty loud.
Well, through Discord, yes, but I haven't gone back over to people listening.
Well, they reckon on the side chat they can't hear you for some reason, but I don't know, that's weird though. I think it was working. I can't.
No, it should be working. God knows I've made enough videos today without any problem.
Yeah. Can you just talk and I'll just check the levels here.
Okay. Talk. Play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going up very loud there, John, for some reason.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
You're way lower than we were the other night. Let me just kill my stream again. You need to adjust your volume output, I think. And Discord.
Robert, can you take off your headset and walk outside and close the door and start talking? That might make it a little more quiet. Joking.
You know what, John? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know you. You're funny, mate.
I restarted Minicam and I can't hear any clicking.
God bless.
And it sounds alright at the moment. But there's some strange problems.
Can you hear me?
Something strange.
Can you hear me at all now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you fine, Robert.
God, so loud.
I don't have to side check and hear you or not. Yeah, it was buffering because I restarted Minicam again. Okay, so where were we? We're looking at this flyball board this guy was making.
Cool, I want one.
Yeah. He was.
Real thing,
yeah. I know someone used those jet engines, right? To do something similar. You know, what they call it? The flyboard. This one looks like it's very similar to that jetpack one, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's actually just water pressure holding them up, isn't it? Or is it actually air?
I don't think so. Well, we'll see if we can play the video anyway. Looks like a fan's underneath, right?
Ah, okay.
They're pretty grunty looking fans he's got under it. Because that's flyboard. Remember, the flyboard was using little jet engines, so he's got, what, eight big fans on it? I wonder what the maximum weight it would be. Oh!
Well, there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, that's why you fly over water. Well, it sort of worked. It sort of worked.
GoPro waterproof.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose he tries again. No. Yeah, looks like he's trying again. Bit risky though.
Huh? You'd have to know how to ride a unicycle to be able to balance.
I think what they need to do is make it less powerful, so it just hovers like a few inches over the ground, like a normal hoverboard, like there. Boom, straight into the... That's not going to be good for the electronics, is it?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we found that one in the search, so hopefully you don't get copyright infringement on it. So I was actually looking at this strange one. It had 32 fans on it, and that goes probably at a safe height there of 1 to 5 inches, depending on the weight of the person on top, I guess. And what else we got?
Boy, you've really got to have your balance under control for something like that.
Yeah. They got the ones that have the wheels, of course, but that's not really flyboards. Now here's the fly one that we're talking about, the flyboard, right? Similar to what the other guy was doing in Canada, but this one's using jet engines, like little jet engines that you use on model planes.
Right.
Right, so yeah, I'd say it'd be like a limit on how much weight you have. Of course, they're using jet engines, so he'd have a back of power, Well, the other guy was using probably this lithium-ion batteries to power the fans, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I was just comparing it to that silly guy. How's the sound sounding at the moment? Not corrupting?
It's not cutting out at all now, Paul.
Yeah,
It's really smooth.
Very strange stuff happening today.
Let me bounce over to YouTube. I'll listen.
Yeah. I don't think it sounds too bad from my monitor there. Sounds alright to me. But it might be too low on YouTube now. I did play around with the settings a wee bit. So yeah, where was that one? So they're talking about this, debating on this, the wings of the Beetle, whether it was actually static, real anti-gravity, so there's that Chin-Chin that they're talking about, the biological dielectric, essentially the plastic, collects positive charges from above and its ring, and like in a capacitor, charge collects and leaks out through the pores underneath, producing more power than what was above, just like with the Levitation, whatever that is. I believe the wings flapping underneath creates more a way to pull positive ions down into the electra and then through it when it comes out. So this sounds like a little iron, what do you call them, iron lifters, you know, where they put hundreds, not 100,000 volts, 10,000 volts. Yep. What's up, John?
Went over to YouTube. Listen, what's going on? Your voice sounds perfect.
Right.
Perfect. Roberts has an echo, and I am way in the background. But other than that,
why are you in the background? Why is
well,
it?
Thing is,
go ahead.
Unfortunately, I can hear John perfectly.
Well, I'm not hearing an echo on Discord.
Yeah, and I underline, unfortunately, I can hear John perfectly.
Yeah, Discord's fine. It's YouTube that's not picking us up properly. Got Paul, but
right.
You're not coming through properly because there's an echo, and I'm way in the background. So, but it is.
Right, there's no way I can boost you. There's no way I can boost you, John. The only way you can do is tune up your mic input. See,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, yeah.
I'll go into my settings and mess.
Yeah. Well, John's. Robert's really loud.
Volume. Okay. All right.
Hey guys, look, all you have to do is change your mic down by tuning your mic down to there, probably, right?
That would be Robert.
Robert needs to turn his...
Okay, where's the flaming cog?
There, mate. Next to your microphone. I'm not even sure if it works because I think Discord on browser version doesn't use it at all.
Right.
But if you just turn it down 20%, but I think you're right. I think it might be John that's too low.
Well, I just boosted my output Discord, so.
You do sound a wee bit too.
I've got a load of things here now. I don't know which one to go to.
That's okay. Don't worry about it, Robert.
Don't worry about it. Just
voice and video. That would be a help, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Right.
But I think it's coming out on YouTube all right, they said. I'm not too sure why you're getting an echo, unless you've got it playing on YouTube at the same time, but it doesn't sound like it's echoing.
No. Only I put. Is it better now?
Did you turn down the mic?
Yeah.
I don't think it works. Are you using the app or the browser to do it?
No, the app.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's not working. That's all right. Discord's got a few problems with it still. We just have to deal with it.
How about now?
No, it's all right. Just leave it like that, Robert. So, yeah, we're talking about these beetle wings power.
Paul, it's not making any difference.
No, it's
not making any difference. Nothing we do with Discord is making any difference on YouTube.
No, it's not making any difference. It's really strange. I know.
Man in Black.
Gotta be it.
Yeah. Anyway, get on with it. Forget about it. So, we'll just go through this bit here about magnetism. Soft matter and liquids. Magnetic fields effects seen in water, right? So they're saying here, physicists in Japan have discovered that the melting point of water increases slightly in a strong magnetic field. University found that it increases by 5.6 Kelvin for ordinary water. Water has many unusual properties. It has relatively high melting point and boiling points for a small molecule, and the liquid state can also be denser than the solid state. These properties are thought to arise from the 3D network of hydrogen bonds in the molecule. Recently it was discovered the near-infrared spectrum and reflective index of water can be affected by strong magnetic fields. Some researchers have suggested that the magnetic field somehow strengthens hydrogen bonds, but the exact mechanism behind the result remains a mystery. Since water is diamagnetic, it should not be affected by magnetic fields. So what it's saying is it repels from magnetic fields. We believe that the thermal motion of partially charged atoms in water gives rise to the Lorentz force, which when a magnetic field is applied. By suppressing the thermal motion, the Lorentz field makes the hydrogen bonds stronger, which could account for increase in the melting points. So that article I come across about water. So we talked about water a lot, oxidization and explosions, the amount of energy, and also flint. But also it has magnetic properties there where it repels from water. So this is where the levitating frog comes in. Okay, so what's this one here say? Do magnets work in water? Magnets work great underwater. You can even get special magnets called retrieving magnets to pick up objects containing iron that have fallen into lakes, of course. Also pretty easy to test if magnets work underwater. Just hold two magnets underwater. Yeah, of course. Something odd.
Can I just ask a question here?
Yeah.
Of course not.
Does this have anything to do with dowsing rods?
No, we're talking about levitation magnets. And
okay, but water and okay, keep going.
Yeah. It doesn't seem it would be magnetic. Something odd about water. It turns out water. Hang on. It doesn't seem like it would be magnetic, but it turns out water and all the matter can exhibit magnetic properties if you put them in a big enough magnetic field. Water slightly repelled by very strong magnets. So they've put a big rare earth magnet here on a test tube of water, and they can see that the water is pushing away from the side of the flask, I guess. So let's just play that.
Greetings, fellow nerds. Quick question. Is water A, attracted by a magnet, B, repelled by a magnet, or C, completely non-magnetic? Most of you will answer C, and you wouldn't be wrong. After all, in everyday life, you'd notice nothing unusual about water and magnetism. But interestingly enough, the correct answer is B. Water is actually slightly repelled by a magnet. This anti-magnetic property is called diamagnetism. However, the effect is extremely weak. That's why most people don't know it's there. To see it, we need to build an extremely sensitive detector. Luckily, this is brutally simple. Just get a basin of water and put into it a styrofoam block. It's going to move around a lot, but this is actually a good thing. The styrofoam floats, and because it's so light, even the smallest force will push it around. So try and build this away from drafts and moving air, and be careful that your own breathing doesn't disrupt it. The water helps to dampen any stray motion. Now get a test tube and fill it with water and push it into the center of the styrofoam. This is the water we're actually going to measure, not the water in the basin. Now steady it, and when it's still, get a strong neodymium magnet and hold it as close as possible to the tube without touching it. Whoops, I hit it there. Let me steady it. Okay, let me try again. Slowly but surely, it's moving away from the magnet. It's an extremely weak effect, but it's happening. A perceptive viewer will also ask about the glass. And yes, the glass is also diamagnetic and also contributes to the repulsive effect. Now, it doesn't matter the orientation of the magnet. There's no north or south in a diamagnetic material. It will always be repelled by a magnet. Now, this video is time-lapsed. It actually moves a lot slower than this. I'll show you the actual speed at the end of this video. Moving on, I'm going to show this special material called pyrolytic carbon, sometimes called pyrolytic graphite. It's made by heating a hydrocarbon to decomposition temperature without oxygen. Pyrolytic carbon is much more diamagnetic than water, and it's pushed around quite easily. In fact, it can even support its own weight. I have here 4 strong neodymium magnets arranged with the poles facing up, but like poles on opposite corners. This creates a magnetic weak spot in the center where the pyrolytic carbon can be stably levitated. As you can see with this sheet of paper, there's nothing underneath.
Okay, so I did something similar to that with my TR3 model that I did between speaker magnets, using 4 speaker magnets. It's exactly the same thing. It creates a field so that the object's sort of stuck in between the 2 fields, sort of thing. But this one's actually quite good.
Yeah, but I think I made the point, you know.
Yeah, so what we're looking at there is the strange properties of other materials. You know, everything. You think magnetic fields passes through everything, right? But some actually resist magnetic fields. They use them in hard drives called mu metal, which is a combination of nickel and aluminium mixture, and it can repel the magnetic field, or it can actually makes the magnetic field want to go around the outside of the metal, like a Sheldon, and go around the other side. So testing out all these different materials and finding out the strange magnetic properties. Now, this is probably in relation to anti-gravity and even gravity itself, because we don't know what magnetism is caused by, and we don't know what gravity is really caused by. But we know it's obviously something to do with the atomic level of atoms, right? Definitely related to energy and electromagneticness of our universe. So yeah, he's testing out some other stuff here. So this actually would actually make a good thing if it could levitate higher enough up. Right, normally you can buy these contraptions that use rotating fields to be able to levitate pot plants and stuff on a stand, right? You can get them as well, but that's using permanent magnets there where there's no power needed. So you got these magnetic platform. or it displays, right? Let's see if we can find it. Like these ones here that you can get from China. All different types ones, and you can even get a speaker one that has like a flying saucer at the top, and it goes up and down with the beat of the music. So, am I still corrupted now? Sounds all corrupted on here.
No, you're good.
Sounds corrupted when I listen to it for some reason. I think that's with YouTube. How's it sounding out there, guys? It's corrupted on my voice. Again, crackle's bad again.
There's still a touch in there, but you know it all depends on when it's finally uploaded and rendered and all that.
No, I think it's pretty bad. That's weird. I'm not too sure about this stream beta then. Yeah. So these are all the different platforms with the rotating magnet fields, and someone's got their side bed clock underneath the magnet. Handy cam. But you can see that there's going to be a certain amount of weight you can only lift, right? So these people that saying Egyptians moved blocks using anti-gravity or magnetic waves or stuff, clearly fooling you, because if you look at that superconductor one with the train going around, I don't know if I've got a picture of it here. What was that one about? What was that subject about? Oh, that was about aliens again. I thought we covered that one last time. Talking about
You know what you were saying, Paul? I think dowsing rods and magnetism, they do have something in common, you know. And you can call it a pseudoscience if you like. There just could be something in it.
Dowsing rods move based on your hand movements, right? So they say
no,
it's like...
No.
Yes,
no, don't believe they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't buy that either. I don't buy that either, Paul. I've seen it done.
So have I. I've done it.
It just makes a slight... You just need a really, really slight movement before these rods spin, because you have ones that you can either hold in your hand, or you can get these ones with the tubes.
Well, I've put up an article there that kind of, you know, contradicts what you've said. But nevertheless, you know, it's your story.
Right. You have to see it to believe it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
This is this guy going.
I didn't want it to move.
Yeah, I've mucked around with dowsing rods as well, and found water drain pipes where no one knew there was a drain pipe. But they're saying it's based on your body reaction to the magnetic field as you go over it, and your micro movements of the hands. You tend to sort of change. What's happened? Who we lost? Guys, where you going? What's happened to Discord? South Africa got too busy now. Have we lost internet? Are we still streaming? What's going on? Okay, let's try servers back to Australia. Where's Australia? Okay, there.
Up.
Okay, looks like
no.
South
They've
Africa.
returned them.
South
Can let
Africa.
it be the same.
South Africa went down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so not too sure what happened there, but Discord had a brownout.
They missed you. That was fine for Rob and I. We were yapping away just fine. You disappeared.
Okay, see.
Yeah, you spoiled the show, Paul.
Yeah.
It's all over. It's all done.
No.
Thanks for joining us, folks. It's been a great.
Yeah. It's all corrupting, I think.
No time to put up the anime porn.
So let's get back to the show, shall we?
Yes,
I'm not too sure what's going on with the voice now. Is that all corrupting? So there's this big article on magnetic fields and that Russian guy here. I'm not sure if there's anything particular there that we haven't covered already. That the guy was a hoaxer, so how much can we believe that he was a scientist versus illusionist? But I'll just post a link to that too. Oh, what's happened? I'm not sure if there's anything particularly interesting on here. Anti-gravity effects. So yeah, they're saying that obviously there's water and things, right? So we know if a bug or an animal has a lot of water in it and you have a strong enough magnetic field, you're going to lift up. So I think this article was talking about bugs that you can sort of lift up with a big magnet. So just post that link there. But that gets us to the frog thing. So at the moment we're watching that demonstration here where he was shown that water repels. So that gives us into the next topic. Let's see, I'll post that link there too. Repelling water. Diametric as their coordinates can be used in these frog experiments. Frogs levitate in strong magnetic fields. And there's some pictures of them on YouTube. I'm not sure if there's a link here. But it says here, some things like iron nails are known for the magnetic properties, but why should frogs levitate in a magnetic field? The trick is to get the magnetic field right. You can just use an old bar magnet to make a frog levitate. Frogs, like everything around and inside us, are made up of billions of atoms. And each of these atoms contains electrons that whiz around a central nucleus, but when the atoms are in a magnetic field, the electrons shift their orbits slightly. The shift gives the atoms their own magnetic field, so when the frog is put... that sounds bad here on the audio. Frogs are convenient not only because they have a high water content, which is a good magnetic material, but also because they fit easily inside a tube. So I thought there was some images of a frog levitating. Looks like I think it was on that one. Okay. Levitating frog. But what they're saying is you could levitate anyone, even a human, if you had a strong enough field. So here's some examples.
Okay, yeah, but let's have a look at this now.
Hang on.
You know these episodes of levitation, they quite often happen under what people call demonic force. You know that, and you have to take this into consideration, really. Why does it always seem to happen under those kind of circumstances? If it was a scientific thing, then surely it wouldn't happen to those certain people. I'm just asking that question. I'm putting it out there, that's all.
Have we actually seen people levitate in chairs, though?
The video, no.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. So,
if you see someone do that, would you be taking the picture?
Not sure what you mean.
I think you'd be too much in shock. I know I would be.
Oh, right. No, you'd have it set up on a tripod, wouldn't you? Have recording the whole exorcism or whatever it's called. Where the person
you know that's going to happen.
Well, if you're going to be researching and documenting every exorcism, you'd certainly have a camera set up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, okay, but they tried that in the Skinwalker branch, didn't they? And it proved elusive.
But I think you're just throwing out all sorts of things here, Robert.
Yeah, I am. Deliberately throwing out all kinds of things because there's some things we just do not understand.
Yeah.
And I think we're better off leaving it at that rather than trying to explain it.
Right. But yeah, we're talking about paranormal, not magnetism. Here we're talking about levitating stones. How Egyptians
yeah, but they could be connected, Paul.
I think you're mixing the subjects up here, though.
But I'm not.
Yeah, but let's say
closed minds. You see, closed minds doesn't get you anywhere.
Well, let's say that humans mostly water, right? 80% water, right? So, is there a way for the human mind to be influence matter around it through brainwaves? Could it somehow generate a magnetic field underneath where they're sitting that sort of repels them upwards? So scientifically, there could be a possibility, somehow that the human mind interacts with the environment somehow that causes a magnetic field change. So yeah, it's a different type of subject entirely, but I don't think you're going to be able to levitate 9 tons of stone to roll it into a pyramid, So let's on to the next final subject anyway. So we just saw a frog sort of hovering around in a vase there while Robert was talking. And that just proves the point that you can levitate a frog using science. So, superconductors, right? They're talking about. Now, if you can imagine, if you scale this up, if you said the Egyptians had like permanent magnets or some way to generate really strong magnets, and that you had a pyramid stone hovering above, right? This is very light. This is misleading. It's not going to be like scaled up to the same, the weight ratio. So people see this and they think, oh yeah, if you can do it on that scale, can you do it with larger blocks, limestone, right? I definitely can. So this goes into some details here of all the different, all the different rare earth elements under a liquid nitrogen, and what's it saying here? Which rare earth metals were found during the years here. So what's the ones at the end here? I can't quite see what it says here. Liquid nitrogen, liquid neon, liquid hydrogen, magnesium B2, whatever that is, ferrous AS there. So, what's it say here? When superconductivity was discovered back in 1911, 9 superconductors had been cooled to almost absolute zero. The first known superconductor had to be cooled below 10 Kelvin to exhibit superconducting properties. Okay, so it carries on. In 1986, the first high-temperature superconductor was discovered, for which a Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded in 1987. Note the high temperature is relative term. What's that? How do we say this one? Yttrium, barium, copper oxides still must be cooled to below 93 Kelvin, or negative 180 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cool to act like a superconductor. So we got some magnets can levitate over a superconductor, or superconductors can levitate over magnets. Magnets can levitate over a superconductor, so you can go each way by looks of it. So let's see, they got that super cooled, I suppose, negative 180 degrees Celsius. He's wearing rubber gloves. So it doesn't levitate very high, as you can see, over magnets. I think he's got the other way around now, hasn't he? Superconduction is underneath, magnet on top. By the looks of it. Yep. So let's have a look at this other one. Are these guys still there?
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're corrupting when you talk very loud there, Robert. Anyway.
Apologies.
We'll see how it comes out on YouTube. So here's a superconductor that block over magnets. But they don't tell us how much it weighs, right? Okay, so what they're saying here. Superconductors repel magnetic fields due to the Wiener effect. Near the surface of the superconducting material, small current flow without any resistance that make a opposite magnetic field that repels the field from the magnet. So when you cool it, it's creating a magnetic field itself, is what they're saying there, through the current flow. Small current flow. Magnetic field that can repel the field from the magnet. We found that it doesn't behave like a pair of magnets repelling one another, with two magnets repelling. One force varies with how far apart the magnets are. Okay, the closer the magnets, the greater the force. Well, obviously, the field lines are getting denser. With the superconductors, we could get levitation to happen 1/8 inch away, or 1/4 inch away equally well. We also had to hold it there for a moment to get it stable. Why does it levitate in a stable way? Why doesn't the repulsion empty keep pushing away like a pair of magnets would? We found that the flux pinning is a good explanation. So what is flux pinning? In the magnetic field diagram shown, the magnetic field lines of flux flow from the north to the south pole and do not penetrate the superconductor at all. At a tiny microscopic level, there are imperfections in the superconductor. These allow a tiny amount of flux to get in through the superconductor and flow out the other side. These small flows of flux through it is enough to stabilize the superconductor, holding it in place. Okay. So, obviously, you're going to need liquid nitrogen, so they're saying do not use it at home. So, Egyptians wouldn't have had superconduction, they wouldn't have had levitation of magnets. It's just not workable. So, superconductor. Yes, hopefully that's that link. Here we go for time. Let's see, my admin panel's all screwed up. 2 hours and 9 minutes of fun. So yeah, so how did the pyramids move stuff? Well, I'll just go to a thing that was on TV to show you some clips from it. Now they found an ancient city in Peru, I think it was. I've got the document there, and it was recently put on. That's not the right one, is it? Where does it start? Okay, so they recently found this city here in South Peru. It's often featured on Ancient Aliens with the H blocks where it joins together. So what they found out is...
You mean, you're talking about the Nazca lines?
We're talking about in South America.
Yeah, it's Peru, South America.
Yep. Okay.
You're talking about the Nazca lines?
Yeah, let me just go over it.
Okay.
Okay, so they found this city that they've been uncovering more of it, and they found that it actually had underground, had a canal system. Let's see, like this. They reckon it looked like this. South America, pretty high tech looking city. You often see these kind of blocks on the Ancient Aliens series. But they reckon that they used to supply water from the mountains through canals, but they also used it for transport around the city. But this what they believe is how they transported the blocks to actually build the city, because the blocks were actually cut in the mountainside where the canal goes to, and this is in a remote place where, as you can see, there's the mountains in the distance. It's built in the plain lands far away from the mountains where there is no stone blocks. So they reckon it used to have a great big huge, was it 9-tier pyramid there at one stage, which has disappeared. I'm not sure where all the blocks have disappeared to that were there, crumbled away, I don't know. But it's strange that if you had a pyramid structure that big there, what happened to all the blocks? Did they sort of get stolen by other tribes to use for their own buildings, maybe? But which happened in the UK with the churches, right? So it's possible. And of course, you've seen this in Ancient Aliens, these H blocks as they call them. where they're saying how could they possibly move these 9-ton blocks. Well, the idea is they found out that it's got a canal right next to the city, and they just transported it on boats from the mountains up over here. And this is an experiment they did. They got hold of a 9-ton block, the same weight from the shoreline here, and put it on one of these reed boats on the lake, and then proved that it can float on water, so it could quite easily go down one of these sizable canals. So that's on one of the latest Destination Unknowns episodes. We'll go and check it out. So here you can see they're just using manpower to get a big 9-ton rock onto the boat here. So yeah, I actually did find a PDF they put up here on it. Reed boats and experimental archaeology on Lake Titicaca. Strange name, but yeah, apparently they live on they live on the water. They've got whole cities that actually live on top of these reed platforms, supporting the whole weight of families, cows, and all sorts of things, right? So you can see, if you want to move a bigger stone, if you want to move a bigger stone, obviously you build a bigger boat or a bigger canal, right? So I'm not sure how it's coming out on the live stream, the sound quality. Do I need to restart my live stream again? It sounds pretty bad this
No, you'll be okay. Sorry, I've got a cough as well.
Yeah, so this PDF here, we'll see if I can copy it, so you can have a look for it yourself. But it talks about the whole experiment they did, how they built it, how many layers. It's hard to believe reed boats would be able to lift such weights, but and be so strong. But they reckon the oldest reed boat was found back 9,000 years ago, 9,500 years ago. They found it in a dig.
How the hell was that preserved then?
I'm not sure, but I remember reading it online. I'm not sure if it was in this document at all, but they found that
it should be biodegradable, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose they find it all together, right? In a like a decayed state. But if it's in, say, imagine if it's like put inside a stone temple, right? It wouldn't break down so fast. But do you think they would have some natural resins that would protect it, probably, a bit like paint? But I'm not too sure if it was in this document where they talk about it or not, or if it's on the other thing here. I'll have a look, see if I can pin it, find out where the reed boat was found. But this is the same thing. You can see the image here of them rolling it onto the boat. So it's the same thing as what was on that episode on TV. And you can see it can carry the stone as well as a lot of people on top as well. So all you need is something similar to that to the pyramids. Like they talked about the Sphinx being surrounded by water at one stage, weren't they? And why would you not build a canal leading from the main river Nile towards where the Great Pyramid is and just simply move the stones there, right? So here it's talking about building the pyramids. It's quite interesting how the idea of moving the blocks would be the same in Egypt as it is in South America. It looks like there's some sort of knowledge that sort of was transferred from continent to continent, right? So that always made me look into maybe they had some sort of airships which sounds crazy, I know, but I did do an episode on the Egyptian airships that you can look up. What happened there?
I don't know. Rob fell off.
I heard him make a click sound. Maybe he got a doorbell ring or something. So just going down here. See if we can boost it up in front a wee bit. So they're talking about transporting stone blocks down the Nile. A new method by whatever. How were the Torah stones and granite blocks transported down the Nile? Along the Nile lie several quarries where different types of stones were. It's probably a bit too big there, isn't it? Were quarried. It's cut off the edge of the screen. I wonder if I can get it to read it out. It's quite an interesting article, this one.
Along.
Okay, we got the English guy back. Okay, let's just try this one. Oh, that'll do.
Along the Nile lie several quarries, where different types of stones were quarried and brought to the building sites by boat. Granite stones from Aswan had to be ferried down the river on large barges about 934 kilometers approx. 700 kilometers linear distance. Ships transporting limestone from Tura had to cross the Nile and then cover about 13-17 kilometers on channels until they reached the harbour of Giza. See map. Practically the whole year there is a strong north-south wind on the Nile, so the barges couldn't sail when going from Aswan to Giza, but only on their way back. Instead the barges used the river currents to drift down. In the lower part of the Nile, close to Giza, they probably used the Bar Yusuf Channel, Bar Jazaf or Jasif's Channel, or a branch of that channel. On these channels the barge had to be towed by men.
Okay, the barge is not talking about whether it being a reed boat or not. But obviously, the Nile is surrounded by the same type of reeds as what's in South America.
With heavy stones like the granite beams for the king's chamber of Khufu's pyramid, you have to consider that if you load or unload them from barges, those barges are very likely to tilt and capsize. There are no good explanations how this was done, except if you use hoists or cranes. Since those were not known at the time when the pyramids were built, there has to be another solution. Franz Lohmer has thought about a few details how the large and heavy stone blocks could have been loaded on the boats and transported down the Nile, for example from Aswan to Giza.
The Nile. Not the Nile. Loading ramps. So here we got one here with very heavy loads using 2 reed boats with a platform in between. That kind of makes sense. Are you still there, John, or?
I'm still here.
You'll probably low down volume, are you?
Yeah.
You definitely look lower to what we were playing around the other night, though. I'm not too sure why. Kind of weird. Anyway, just going down this page here. The harbour facilities at the quarries. So there they would slide it down on the ramp onto the middle platform there. And there's one that's a big transporter there. So the capacity of transporting, there are chronicles. Okay, let's have a read of that bit there. Okay, we'll read that bit there.
There are chronicles on papyrus, too, where ships are listed, which transported sandstone blocks from the quarries of Jebel Silsila to the Ramesseum. Calculations 1 show that 5 to 7 stone blocks of 1 to 5 tons, resulting in a total of 15 to 20 tons were loaded on each ship, and that daily about 64 stone blocks arrived from the quarries. When Franz Longer calculates that 69 stones arrived daily in Giza by ship from the quarries in Tura, this is actually very realistic.
But there you go. And so there's actually some written proof of these ships being used. This sort of blows ancient aliens that aliens helped build the pyramids, right? Transporting, here we go.
Transporting really large loads with ships on the Nile is also documented. A well-known engraving in the Temple of Queen Hatshepsut shows the transport of 2 obelisks, each 323 tons, one on a bark from Aswan to Karnak, reconstruction from a partial relief from Deir el-Bahari. The ships should actually lay much lower in the water than shown. Another well-known engraving is on a relief in the pyramid complex of Unas in Saqqara, which
shows now columns were transported by ship. Okay, so looks like it's got some links here. Let's see if we can open it up. Yeah, looks like the links are gone. So I'll just post that article there. It's quite an interesting article. It's good seeing that there are some factual evidence and writings, or actually drawings on the wall, because obviously the Egyptians painted things like that up the very top there again. You see that on pyramid walls, right? Obviously transporting rocks or whatever. Moving blocks. So no high tech was needed, really. It's amazing that the buoyancy of water can lift such big weights. So let's see what we can find here. You might have seen quarries where they've half dug out the stones, which shows how it was just sort of done. Half complete. What do you call it? Egyptian. It's not spelled Egyptian, is it? It doesn't look right. Egyptian stone. Let's see what we can find. So there are quarries where there's sort of half-finished stuff that they're carving out, like blocks. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Hey Renee, how's it going? Static on the microphone. Again. Alright, let me just restart Minicam again. What the hell's going on? How's it sounding now? Normally starts off good and gets worse. Sounds alright now. Let's see how long it sticks for. Sound better?
Sounds good to me, but then again, I'm on Discord. I can bounce over real quick.
Yeah. Vinny reckons it sucks. Sucks as bad as Martin Willis show the other day. That sounds alright to me. Why we get a problem, I don't know. Kind of weird. Hello.
Yeah, actually, it sounds pretty good, Paul.
Yeah, it sounds alright now. I've restarted Minicam.
Yeah.
But why does it corrupt, is the question. So, gonna have to do some research on that. So we're looking for that obelisk thing. Egyptian stone. Quarry. Let's try that. Oh, here we go. So here's how they used to cut out those big temple things, you know. You see, obviously they cut it down in the limestone, and then probably put some suspensions underneath it before they cut underneath, and then lifted it out somehow with ropes, probably. So that's like we need to find one of these other images of the completed one. Hope the sound's still working. Pyramid, I don't know. The pyramid. Let's see what we got. Okay, so there's a completed one, right? That's your idea. And that's what that starts off, carving out a big chunk of stone, which then they lift out, and obviously taper it and all that sort of stuff. And then they just use that seesaw method to gradually raise it up, which I talked about in my Egyptian airship episodes. So lifting up stone with seesaw. But obviously you can put it onto a sled, slide it onto one of these reed boats, right? And you can transport it up the Nile. Now it looks like it's corrupting again. What if it's to do with the stream bit rate? I wish it was doing this problem the other night when we were testing it. Does it sound bad again, Renee? Or does it sound alright? So lifting with seesaw. How do you spell it? Some guy did it on YouTube just to demonstrate building Stonehenge. So what they do is they use a counterweight, obviously, and they have two beams instead of one beam like this. They have two beams. So when it is raised up on this angle here, creates a gap underneath the beam over this side, and they just slide a chunk of either stone or wood underneath, and then let it lower back down again, and it raises it up by an inch each time. And they just keep on doing that until it's sort of that angle here, and they simply dig a hole here and makes it go that direction further down towards where the center is, simply raising it back up, standing it straight up. Now the guy did it on the video here on YouTube. I think probably have to look up Stonehenge or something like that. Lifting Stonehenge. Or maybe might come up. Here we go. So this is the seesaw here with the block on it, as you can see, and all they do is rock it back and forth between those two things, and they simply put each end, when it's higher up, like the wedges, and then you put counterweight on the other end, and then you put another wedge on the other side, and it gradually lifts it up wee bit by wee bit, right? So I'll just queue up a wee bit of it. just to show you what he's doing. So he could actually rotate. He built it all himself. You can see here he's rotating it around on a pebble, believe it or not. He would simply jack it up a wee bit and then put a stone underneath, and then he could spin it around. Just simply using brute strength, pulleys, and the seesaw thing he built. So you can see here, there's quite a few ton block he's got here. It's bended, and you can see the wood underneath, right? Simply tilts it, puts another slab of wood underneath, and just keeps seesawing back and forth, putting wood underneath, and it gets higher and higher. Like you can see here, he's putting a slab of wood underneath. And eventually gets to a certain height coming up. You can see that it's going to start to tilt upwards. So there you go, it's got it fairly high up now. And simply starts digging down underneath the thing here. And it gradually goes further up and then simply tips into place. As you can see, eventually the weight of the block is enough for it to pull itself right up. And tie a few ropes on it, a few hundred men, of course, you could do it as well. But you can see he did it all by himself, and it's perfectly level without hundreds of men. There you go, it's vertically straight. I'll post a link to it here, and you can go and watch it. But it just shows how the pyramids could be done with the obelisks, and it could be done with Stonehenge. Lifting a block. Did it go? Was my voice all corrupted? Sounds alright at the moment. Oh no. It's back crackling again. Anyway. And so we could probably find some other blocks in a quarry as well. And there's another one, I think. Let's see how they're carving it out. So they left some clues behind, at least, in the form of leftover stuff in quarries. But they also found these stone wheels, which is quite interesting. So there's another diagram of people saying they used it with sleds, right? That's one of some possibilities, not the only method that you can move these ones. I wonder if we can find the stone wheels. I'll have a look. Are you still there, John?
Yep, still here.
Alright. It's hard to tell with Discord.
Tell me about it.
Looks like we're getting modern equipment here, not ancient equipment. Quarry stone will have ancient. Let's see if that comes up. There you go, there's that obelisk again, there's the other side that we're not seeing at the top here. So it looks like they were carving it out. Okay, stone walls. Is that the one? So, I don't think that was the stone walls though. I think that might be someone else's idea. But they did find these stone wheels at building sites. So let's see if I can find it. And nothing's popping up. See, that's another one they're carving out, right? This looks huge, right? How would they transport that? Well, they could do it with stone wheels. And here's another one where they're transporting obviously large statues, right? With lots of men. You put it on a sled, a stone sled even, and just lots of thousands of men pulling. I suppose you could easily move that, right? Manpower. Okay, the stone wheels are not popping up for me. But obviously other ancients had designed stone wheels for their carts and whatnot. But I'll just draw it, probably easier. If that works at least. Yeah, that's nice and fast, wasn't it? Just that our sound is rubbish. Okay, so we want a block, of course, rectangle. So here's our stone. And what they did is they made these wheels that were half in size. Can I draw a stone wheel here? I wonder if I can do it. Oh. Yeah. Hey, John. So I want to draw a stone wheel. What they used to do is they used to make wheels that had a cutout, right? Which would be halfway, like that. So that bit there in the middle, is that halfway there? Something like that. And then they have another one going the other way, which makes a full wheel, right? But I haven't got it right. I haven't got it quite right. Basically, it comes with the right diameter, right? So you have to get the right diameter. So, yes, not doing it really well, am I? I suppose the blocks were more rectangle than square. I think that sort of makes a difference as well. Why they used rectangle ones. So let's just redo that. A bit more that way. And then they had the wheel. Oop. And of course, it would be a snug fit, of course. It had to come down halfway there. That's the easiest place to get one circle. Then just simply cut it to size, right? So if you imagine that, and they had it cut in half, right? And they had it squared out here, all they need is slide it over to the square rectangle or square, and then they can simply just roll it along the ground like a cart, right? Makes perfect sense. So they'd have it cut down the middle. Maybe the middle though, is it? But you get what I mean, and simply they have the two halves that slide over around the block, and they don't even need to bind it, but they could have like a piece of rope that goes around the outside that sort of makes sure it holds together, or they could have little bolts sticking out this side, and I could have drilled holes and put stone bolts out the side and wrapped around cord, right, just to hold that together, just in case it doesn't slide off. So yeah. So you have a axle cut, right? So look in the other dimension, this direction, you'd have the wells, which would look like that there, right? And it'd just be like a stone cut. You just tie some ropes in the middle and just drag it along. So they found it at quarries in Egypt. Of the stone walls. I'm not sure if you can find it or not. This might be talking about it here. Great Pyramid and transports. Rectangular framework attached to the disc. Ropes and wooden pins, holes for the rope. So they made their own little tool system there where they can just roll the blocks to the boat, I guess, and use levers, or levers as Americans call them, to lift it onto the boat. So I think that's pretty much all I was going to cover today, actually. It hasn't been too good with the old software corruption and the voice. Is it still corrupting? Hello? Yeah. Kind of weird. Makes no sense. What's corrupted today? John's gone. Is he back? So that's pretty much all the material I was going to cover today. Read boats for moving blocks. So I'll wrap up the stream there. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. Let's see how well it come out, I guess. So much for stream beta and using Minicam to do it. So yeah, we tested it out the other night and it was perfect. So I'm not sure what's gone on today that keeps corrupting the sound. This is something to do with Discord, I don't know. Okay guys, just switch to my end credits here and say goodnight, and we'll see you next live stream, which will be hopefully Tuesday night, and hopefully we can solve the problems with the audio. Yeah, just finishing up, John. I can't see what it's doing though.
Really?
Yeah, I've got no preview window.
Oh, it's doing good.
Yeah, that's finishing up now. Because of the 30 minutes delay, right? So it's up thing now, but I think. Yeah, or 10 seconds, isn't it?
And that's it. All done.
No, it's not. Then I have to end stream after 10 seconds.
Right.
Well, that'll do.